Welcome, everybody, to another episode of the Salty Nerd Podcast for August Bites, part 3 or 2?
3, I think.
Three, I think. Yeah, Anaconda, No Way Up, and now this is Dog Soldiers, part 3. God, I love this movie. And I can't wait to talk about it with you guys. I'm joined, as always, by my fantastic panel of nerds. Dutch Butters is here.
Here we are.
Sup, dude?
Dog Soldiers.
First time?
First time. Finally got to watch.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
I'm looking forward to this.
Sure.
Judah's also here.
This has been requested so many times for us to watch.
Yes.
And we finally got to it.
So fun. Producer of the show, Matthew Kadish.
Yeah, so I wasn't so much as entertained about this movie as I was about my wife's reaction to this movie as it went along.
I should have been there for that.
Oh, you don't want to have been there for this.
Were you talking mad shit?
I hate this movie.
What?
I fucking hate this movie. And I'll tell you why.
Oh.
2002, Dog Soldiers, rated R with a runtime of 1 hour, 45 minutes, had a budget of $2 million. I'm just going to get right into it with a box office of $3.5 million.
Why isn't there a sequel?
Dr. Owen Hunt of Gray Sloan Memorial is a soldier who knows all the hot wilderness tea about which campers died mysteriously in which part of the woods, but has never heard of werewolves until this very second, and only after he's seen one on like 3 separate occasions. And even then it sounds crazy, and there must be some other explanation. And I thought that I was getting a Soldiers Are Werewolves movie, and what I got was soldiers hiding from werewolves in the Onion Knight absolutely hating fucking dogs. Who hurt this man? You cannot kill a dog in the first 5 minutes of a movie and then be like, why don't you like my fucking movie? Because you killed the dog.
No! That's what you don't like about this movie. He's the bad guy.
Unnecessary.
He was the bad guy. It was literally the point of creating his character was for him to be a douchebag so you don't feel bad for him later.
The whole movie, he's like, fucking hate dogs. You know what we should do? We should kill that dog. It's a werewolf movie, dude. Leave the dog alone.
I'm with Jude. This is not the movie I was expecting.
No?
To get. No.
What were you expecting?
I badass soldiers who were werewolves,
and they
doing
were
stuff.
Fight each other.
We got a bunch of weekend warriors stuck in a cabin.
They don't even have real bullets for half the episode or for half the movie.
With some chick who obviously is in on it.
So obvious.
And
I will give you guys that. The amount of stupidity involved in this, and they're constantly like, I don't know, man. Looked like it was a werewolf. It wasn't a werewolf, dude. It was like some guy with long nails. And I'm like,
cheap ass looking.
Like that is a line from the movie.
Spirit Halloween store.
Yeah, that is a line from the movie where they're like, it's just a bunch of nutcases with long hair and long nails. And I'm like,
full moon, silver bullets, and eyebrows that join in the middle.
Before you dismiss it offhand, think about what you've seen and heard.
Go.
They're probably in a band.
Here's what I know what's going on, right? People listening to us right now are going, those motherfuckers.
Yeah, I know. You're all going to be mad at me because I didn't like this fucking movie.
I know, right?
That is nonsensical and stupid.
Listen, I am so happy right now because I was scared to death. I was the only one at the table that did not enjoy my experience.
Am I going to be on my hill by myself?
Jude and I bonding again over here. I haven't bonded with Jude in a long time.
We fought earlier, and now we're bonding again.
Yeah.
Well, I just told you to make me a sandwich, and you got all uppity about it.
You want to bring it up again? You want to get one of these?
I'm spam Sal right in the kisser. But I was very disappointed in this.
Oh.
It looked like it was filmed on a fucking 1982 Panasonic fucking handheld.
It's a very indie movie, dude. Yeah.
You know, filmed with a Polaroid camera.
Yeah, that's what it looks like. It's the lighting's all weird.
Uh-huh.
I mean, the cast is good. They're trying. You know, when you understand what exactly they're saying. If you turn the subtitles off, I cannot talk. I feel like I'm drunk. If you turned the subtitles off, I wouldn't be able to understand anything.
Really?
Yeah, it's like
I didn't have a problem.
It's like I don't know. I just had issues with this movie.
I did not know. I forgot.
But I went into this movie really looking forward to it because I've been wanting to watch this for a long time.
Me too. I was so excited to watch this movie. I had like a whole setup. I was like having some drinks. I was having some snacks. I was like, oh, I can't wait till Matt comes home.
Was like, I'm so excited.
I was so excited to watch this movie. And then like they killed the dog and I was like watching it like this for a minute. I was like, oh God, they're not going to do that, are they? Yes, they are. And then I tried throughout the movie and I was like, I hate this fucking movie. It's not the movie I thought I was getting.
From the very get-go, when the dude and the lady are out in the forest and they do the thing with the zipper going up, and
I was into it at that point. I was into it at that point. I was like, oh, it's going to be like Jason in the woods, but werewolves.
And you hear the roar, and they get. I'm like, oh shit. This is one of those movies.
Oh shit!
Damn it.
But then the rest of the movie is just like the Blair Witch Project in camo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it's a little bit less found footage than that.
You look disappointed.
I am a little disappointed. I really like this movie. I remember watching it and I was like, I thought it was low budget indie, kind of cool. I liked what they did with the werewolves. I liked how gruesome it was. I liked the blood and guts, and I just was like, yeah, man, this is free.
You know how I like low budget indie movies. They're my favorites.
Sometimes they're good.
Sometimes.
Well, you know, it's funny. So like this was an early 90s indie movie out of the UK, shot on film back when indie movies actually used film instead of like video. So like they had to overlight everything because they were using cheap film stock. And it was a very much a like guerrilla style film shoot, and I can appreciate that, unlike some people. So
I like the way it looks. I think it gives it a unique look. It doesn't look so like polished and digital as everything these days. It's like it's kind of grimy. It's got weird lighting where it's like, oh, it's obviously that they shot it in the dark with like just crazy lights for specific areas.
And this movie is basically Night of the Living Dead, but with werewolves and soldiers.
Sure.
So Neil Marshall was the writer and director of this. And Neil Marshall is the guy who did The Descent and Doomsday. And he also directed the pilot for Game of Thrones and a bunch of other stuff.
I think I like this guy. Doomsday, Descent, Dog Soldiers.
Yeah, like, he's been involved in like a lot of like really good stuff. But the thing about this movie was like it was very early on in his career. And if you guys notice, the guy in the tent at the beginning who was like, you know, macking with his chick when they get attacked by werewolves, he was the main cannibal bad guy in Doomsday.
Oh.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
Yeah. And Sean Pertwee, who was like the main sergeant of like the soldiers in this movie, he's been in a lot of Neil Marshall stuff.
I also forgot that this movie was based in Scotland. I totally spaced that. And then the opening credits of it, and it's like Scotland Highlands. And I'm like, oh, shit. I totally spaced on that one. That was cool. So there's another movie that's
very
based in
early
Scotland.
Kevin McKidd starring vehicle. Like he went on to great deal of renown.
Oh, nobody's debating that this movie has a place.
Sure.
In the world of movies. I don't even know how to say it. And there's good actors in here. It's clearly one of this guy's early films. You know, he's doing, you know, it's like Peter Jackson made some shit, okay, like that you love. And I kind of like put that in that same kind of category. Early films from famous filmmakers.
Sure.
You know, and there's not everything's bad in this movie. It's just not what I was expecting.
Was that
I
what it was?
I was expecting a more polished film. I've heard people talk about this movie now for the last 10 years. Gotta watch Dog Soldiers. Dog Soldiers is cool. Yeah. I'm like, okay, well, yeah, maybe overhyped it a little.
Maybe a little of that. I think that my expectations were completely off base for it. I think the name contributes to that. Also, like, we've had so many people tell us, like, oh, you have to watch this. It's like one of the best werewolf movies. And it's just not at all what I thought I was going to get.
Compared to
you
what?
guys know I love shitty movies. You guys know I love B movies.
Yeah.
There is a place for this. And honestly, it's just a me thing. Like, I cannot watch a movie where you kill the dog. And especially like the way that they killed the dog, it was so fucking unnecessary. It was just like to make a point. It wasn't even like the dog was rabid and he has to go down.
Just because you have a soft spot for dogs doesn't ruin the entire movie because the bad guy in the movie shot a dog. No! That doesn't make any sense, Jude.
That
is such a weird pet peeve to be like, this movie sucks because that bad guy shot the dog.
Kids in movies. That's your thing.
That makes it better. Kids can't act. Dogs can act.
That's a good
They didn't even give this dog a chance to act. They killed him as soon as they showed him.
Yeah, it's not like it was like a beloved dog throughout the entire movie and then they killed it at the end in like some weird, terrible way. It was like, you know, it's the first 10 minutes it established the guy was an asshole.
And then they didn't even kill another dog later.
He doesn't like dogs.
He hates dogs.
I mean, it's
that dog survived.
It's kind of a test, though. You know, what's Kingsman? It's like,
yeah,
kill your dog. No,
yeah, it was a test. It was a test to see if this guy would be able to be basically a douchebag enough to be.
But even the Kingsmen
extra.
were like, we're not really going to kill a dog.
Well, this guy,
that would be uncool. Yeah. And this was
Sir Davos was going to kill the dog.
Yeah.
I've never hated the Onion Knight more.
I know, right? You son of a.
I do think he was probably underutilized in this movie. There's a couple of things that you can tell, like it's an early movie for this director.
Mhm.
I think a lot of the dialogue was just filler, just to kind of get people to like. This is an supposedly elite squad of soldiers that are
These
supposed to be
National Guardsmen
going into the woods to like do some kind of a mock mission or whatever, and they've got like a bonfire going, and they're like cooking s'mores and telling bar stories, and I'm like, this is come on, bro.
Complaining about missing the soccer game.
Yeah, I'm like, well, that I got. Like, I could get like a military guy, be like, God damn it, they scheduled this freaking thing. Well, I've got a stupid test I have to do now. Like that, I understood, but it was like the sitting around the campfire really bothered me.
What,
I'm like,
what was the one soldier's name? Kevin?
Kyle.
Cooper?
I don't remember.
No.
Which one?
It was like, I think it was Kevin or something like that. But we were always just like, God damn it, Kevin. He was always complaining about shit. People were always like, shut the fuck up, Kevin.
I do like that one story that they did tell, even though I thought the scene itself was absurd because it was based around this giant fire and they're all sitting there hanging out. I'm like, nobody who's like trying to stay undercover is going to be lighting a giant fucking fire in the middle of the night.
Well, Spoon was one of them, but there was a guy with just like a regular name.
Oh, okay.
He was like the one that always complained about shit.
But there was that one story where they told that reminded me almost like of like like the Jaws monologue about the Indianapolis, where he's telling the story about the guy who stepped on the mine and like there was nothing left of him. It was like this really long drawn out story that was super dark, and I liked the way that they played that. But then they like undercut it with the comedy right after that, and it was like it was weird. But I like that one moment. And then the other thing too that bothered me is these freaking guys. A goddamn cow just falls out of the sky, and they're like, "Oh shit." Squad up, mates. We're gonna sit tight for the. You are on watch. All right, good night. We're gonna go to sleep. And I'm like,
if we're out camping and a fucking
cow falls out of the sky,
I'm out. I'm done.
I'm thinking, what the fucking hell's going on here? Then he looks back at the dog, and to his surprise, the dog turns around.
Fucking cow! Fucking leaving.
And there was
Fire's
no
out.
tornado?
I'm getting in my truck. I'm leaving. See you later.
Right.
It's like, oh, we need to investigate. The fuck we do?
I think these woods is
I'm
falling.
leaving.
That looks like it was carved up by teeth and claw. And he's like, that's fine,
That's
mate.
all right.
Yeah. Just make the fire bigger.
Hey, who's that guy over there?
Australian all of a sudden.
Who's that guy over there with his guts hanging out and shit? It's
Yeah.
like, ugh.
You know what I love about Neil Marshall is that he'll do something just for a joke. Right? Like he'll ingrain it into the movie just to have like a joke. So when The Matrix came out, you have that whole like there is no spoon thing in The Matrix. So in this movie, there's a character named Spoon, and then when he gets killed, and they're like, "Where's Spoon?" The reply is, "There is no spoon."
I give you the shits, you fucking wimp.
Perfect.
Like Neil Marshall is in for like the long game.
Yeah.
He's just cracking inside jokes with himself.
Well, I'll tell you, because you guys apparently are shitting on this movie, which is fine.
I'm not trying to shit on this movie.
Listen, I was told to give my opinion about this movie.
I get it. I'm a little shocked that, I mean, you kind of was
It was a little more low budget.
Low budget than you like, but I'm shocked.
I know, I love low budget.
I'm shocked you don't like this movie.
I just did not get the movie that I thought I was getting, and therefore I did not like the movie that I got.
I like the scenes that they spent a little money on.
The werewolf ones?
Like the werewolf ones where they're like gnawing on that dude's head and blood and guts fall out of the back of the Jeep and stuff. And, some of the gore was on point, but there's like 4 seconds of it in the entire movie.
Well, I mean, they're trying to cut away from like just having the camera on the werewolf.
I got really frustrated that by the end of the movie, we had still never really seen a werewolf outside of a dark shadow until like the very last finale part.
I wanted more werewolf.
Yeah.
Oh,
I wanted more. I wanted less werewolf silhouettes and less werewolves in the shadow because
I like the silhouettes.
because their outfits were cheap and shitty and got from the Spirit Halloween
completely
store.
disagree.
So they kept it in the dark to cut down on the budget, so they didn't have to use them as much.
Well, you can't have a werewolf in broad daylight. Any movie with a werewolf in broad daylight is going to look chintzy. Like, I like the fact that they kept the silhouettes and they did the quip cuts.
I think the werewolves always look shitty.
I've been doing this long enough now, and Matt has taught me enough things about these things where I can see where they're making budgetary shortcuts for these movies. And there's a ton of them in this.
They're just trying to hide.
They're trying to hide cheap shit. And you can see it all through this. All through it.
I almost watched this again this week because we watched this last week because we thought we were going to do a double feature. so we watched this a week ago, and I almost watched it again this week to be like, because I know people love this movie. I was like, maybe I need to watch it again, but I could not bring myself.
This is one of my favorite werewolf movies, mostly
Nadia
because
said the same thing.
mostly because of the werewolves.
Yeah,
If you look at all the werewolf movies we've ever watched, and you tell me that one of them is better than this one as far as like what a werewolf looks like, fuck no.
What werewolves of movies
It's like
have
a
we watched?
7-foot tall fucking man-eating bear of a freaking werewolf with long claws, and they look scary as shit. And they're just like, they're freaking running at you. And I'm like, you look at any, like, American Werewolf in London is a beloved movie that is awesome in its own right. But it's a freaking hairy, angry looking dog. It's not a werewolf. It's a freaking 4-legged animal. That doesn't count.
I have always said that the werewolf in American Werewolf in London looks crazy.
It looks crazy.
Yeah, it looks bananas.
But it's not a man.
But it's a werewolf movie. It's fine. Have you seen The Howling?
Yeah, The Howling looks cheesy as shit.
For real.
The one werewolf movie that Jason Momoa was in, cheesy as shit.
Never seen that.
Oh my god,
You
it's
gotta
so
watch that
goofy.
one.
It's so goofy. So, he was wearing a top hat at one point.
So what we're saying is werewolves are cheesy as shit.
Yes.
Okay.
But this one, I feel like of all the cheesy, shitty werewolves,
I just hated the soldiers.
I think some of them were dicks.
And honestly, like the entire movie, he's like, I don't believe it's a werewolf.
That bothered me.
Certainly, it can't be a werewolf. Looking at a werewolf, that's not a werewolf. This is a werewolf.
I also didn't have any sense of buy-in or whatever the word is with any of these characters. I didn't care if any of them lived or died. I didn't.
Same.
So I mean, if I don't have any like emotional attachment or something to a character, I don't really.
I like the sergeant. I thought the sergeant was cool, and I love that when he gets attacked by a werewolf and his like guts are literally falling out.
Yeah.
They start putting them back together.
Don't they know anything about how werewolves work?
Or
No,
guts?
that's the issue.
Like clearly that guy's going to turn into a werewolf.
That's the issue with the freaking movie is that they're like, there's no such thing
he's
as
got
werewolf.
super healing powers.
There's a werewolf right behind him.
Yeah.
He's fucking Wolverine
Like,
now.
hey man,
Okay.
why is he healing all of a sudden?
Ooh, interesting.
But they know Silver does it. They know all the myths, but then they refuse to see what's right in front of
That
them.
drives me crazy when you have to make your main characters stupid in order for the movie to work.
Yeah.
Well, they are British.
What the fuck?
How dare you?
The best part is when they're putting Sean Putri back together and they're just like, let's use super glue and just
let's push his guts back in
push
there.
his guts back in.
Glue it
That's
together.
real.
Together.
That's legitimately what
You're
super
gonna
glue
be
is
all
made for. He was right. He's like, you know why it sticks to your fingers better than it sticks to anything else? Because they designed it to be like this. And I'm like, yeah, that's accurate. That's all real. Like, just shove that stuff back in there, sew you up, and get you to the hospital. Yes, they actually did that shit. That's all fucking real. But there was this one scene where he was in bed and they were trying to sew him up, and he's like drunk.
That's the scene.
Yeah. Well, no, when he's in bed.
That's when he got white.
Yeah, he's in bed and he's drunk because they're trying to like dope him up so he doesn't feel the pain and stuff like that. And he sits up and he's like, fucking hit me and knock me out. And he punches him and he goes down.
Do it again, you pussy.
Do it again, you fucking pussy. That bit, I fucking
That was pretty
laughed.
funny.
That was hilarious.
Me! Oh, you fucking pussy, hit me!
That was right before the scene where the dog was like trying to pull on his intestines.
Yeah.
I was trying to eat his
He's
guts.
trying to eat him.
Gross. Ew.
He's a good boy.
I love that Australian Shepherd. He was cool.
But
what's crazy is like, so the werewolves, they lived in that house that the soldiers were like, holed up in. So that was their dog.
Yeah.
Right. So like, why were they like?
Because
they
most
never
of the
attacked
time
the
they're
dog.
not werewolves. They're just like this nice little
Werewolf
weird
family.
forest family that
Bro.
is a pack of werewolves, and they live up there. And then for one night a month when the moon is full, they do their thing and
they go attack campers.
Yeah, and then
I thought the backstory to this little cottage and this family that lived in this. I'm like, there's a lot there that you could play around with. I
Sure.
felt like was probably underutilized because
Yeah.
I'm like, they really just looked at like one photo of the family, and then the thing with the chick, the zoologist chick, her whole story is a lie.
Yeah.
She's actually a member of the family. She's probably the matriarch of the family. She's probably the alpha, whatever. I thought that was a freaking last minute shoe in. It didn't feel natural. And then that god awful line where she's like, "It's that time of the month," and then
Yeah,
she turns
like,
into a.
ew.
I'm like, "Fuck you."
Yeah.
It's that time of the month.
Alex, I don't think you like this movie either.
I like a lot of it. I love the werewolves in it. I love the action. There's another movie that's very, very similar to this, which is called Feast, which I also really love, and it's also very low budget.
Project
cheesy.
Greenlight.
Yeah. I love that movie. It's almost identical to this, except it's not werewolves. It's like weird, like desert monsters or something.
And they're trapped in a diner.
They're trapped in a diner.
Yeah.
Jason Mewes is in it. Yeah, it's a weird, goofy ass movie, but it's almost identical to this one.
Did you actually watch the Project Greenlight episodes where they were making that movie?
I did not. No, I probably should though.
That sounds fun. I'll watch that.
I love this type of movie when it comes to these monsters because I think these are some of the coolest werewolves I've seen in movies. Most of them are dumb looking, or they're not really werewolves, or like they're just a guy with like a hairy mask on and they're like running. What was that stupid Stephen King fucking movie we watched with the werewolf?
Oh, Silver Bullet.
Yeah. Awful.
Yeah, it wasn't good.
Your drunkle?
Yeah, the weird. Yeah, Steve. What is it?
Gary Busey.
Gary Busey. Gary Busey as the drunk uncle.
Everyone's favorite drunkle.
Bro.
What about that movie we watched with Lynn Kabazinski, the one with the dog?
That movie was great. Yeah.
What was that called?
Silver Moon or something like that?
I've never gotten through one of his movies.
No, it's not.
It's not his. It's just a movie he likes.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I wasn't here that day.
No, you were. Yeah, we watched a ninja movie. With
What was
him, too.
that movie called? That movie's good.
I can't remember. I don't think I was there for that. You guys watched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, find out and tell us.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll watch that one next. I just think in the world, to take a page out of Jude's book, in a world of indie werewolf movies, this one.
Don't use my shit against
This
me.
one is top shelf. It's top shelf. I think it was fun. The gore was on point. The werewolves I thought were really cool looking. I liked how they utilized the shadow, and they just have these menacing, like giant freaking figures with the pointy ears, and they looked like just big man dog things. And I'm like, yeah, that's a freaking werewolf.
Okay.
I liked it.
Bad Moon.
Bad Moon.
That was it.
Yeah.
Sir Davos, biggest asshole in the entire universe in this movie. He really just played it up. He was just there silently in the background, just slowly turning into a werewolf.
You know, he's just like sitting there being like, oh my God, when am I going to get my next opportunity to strangle a fucking dog?
It's dogs.
It is kind of funny looking at how young he is in this movie.
Oh, he's very young. Yeah.
He still looks like he's 45 years old.
He's still balding.
He hasn't aged at all.
Yeah. He just has less gray.
When he turned 20, he turned 45 and he stayed that way.
Hey, it's not a bad thing. This is Sir Davos. I don't know, man. If I'm going to rate this movie, in the world of indie werewolf movies, this is like a solid 4-star, 3.5. I'm going to go 3.5. 3.5, because that line at the end really freaking ruined it for me.
Yeah.
It's that time of the month. Oh, shut up.
That's fair.
Ugh.
That's fair.
It's so dumb.
How dare anyone
Because why
talk
didn't
about-
she turn? Like, that's the other thing,
Yeah.
too. Like, she should have turned the minute the moon came up. It's not a choice.
Well, maybe she has a.
Although-
Maybe she's not. Maybe she was born that way, and she's
No,
not.
do you remember they did address that? Because they were like, well, what if it's not a choice? Or what if it's a choice? What if it's like you have to take a dump, but you could just hold it until you can't anymore? They did compare it to that.
So she was like prairie dogging.
So she was prairie dogging the whole time. And then she finally had to do it. She's like, all right, I can't hold it in any longer. Got 2 hours before the full moon goes down. Whatever.
I did like how upset she got when her car blew up.
Yeah.
That's my car.
But didn't her family destroyed her car?
They destroyed the whole house.
They did.
There's nothing left.
No, it's just
a crater.
You can't control the wolf.
I think they should have delved a little bit deeper into the backstory of this family once they were inside the house, and they
That's the movie I wanted to see.
Yeah, they started looking into it, and they're like, "Oh my god, they've been doing this for hundreds of years." And like, you start reading about like, or maybe they have diaries or just a photo album or something like
at
that.
the end of the movie, they reveal like the basement of horrors, where they're just like, you know,
just bodies.
All their like kills are just like strung up down there for some reason.
Yum.
Just saving it for later.
That's what you got to do with it.
Because what if the full moon comes
Could
and
age it.
there just doesn't happen to be a bunch of campers out in the woods near your house?
Or what if there's a bunch of soldiers with fake bullets running around?
That was a setup. I did like the scientific, like the military setup where it was like Davos was supposed to go in there and capture one so they could use it for military purposes.
The way I read it, and I might be wrong about this, but basically, so the special forces unit set up this exercise because they knew that these things were out there. They wanted to capture them so that they could figure out how to, like, you know, kind of like create a super serum from werewolf.
We're going to 28 days later this shit.
So the Kevin McKidd group basically was a decoy to lure out these things for the special forces to basically like take out and capture. So they were always meant to be like sacrificial lambs. But what happened was that the werewolves found the special forces team first, took them out, and then the decoy soldiers basically like found that and had to, like, you know, hole up for the night.
I just blew my mind a little bit. This is a prequel to 28 Days Later.
That's
Vampires.
zombies.
But the werewolf
Wait, are
blood,
they zombies or vampires?
Vampires.
it doesn't matter. It's just some
No,
wait.
supernatural
you're
thing.
thinking
I'm
30
thinking
Days
of
of Night.
30 Days of Night.
Yeah,
Yeah,
the
28 days
the
later.
werewolf blood gets tainted with the real blood, and then it turns
zombies.
everybody into like
Always
flesh-eating
trying to make
zombies.
Captain America.
Yeah.
Always.
Just,
Do you think the military is not trying to do that?
yeah.
I mean, the Nazis used meth. They were like,
Yeah.
all right, let's dope everybody off on meth and
The
put
whole
them out there in the
country
field.
Lobotomies.
Cracked
Yeah,
out.
yeah. Turn them into crazy.
I
super
liked
soldiers.
your score though. I think
It's
it's
like 3.5.
in what was your category?
In the world of indie werewolf movies.
And you went 4.
Yeah.
And so
Compared
I would
to-
think
compare-
in my world of indie werewolf movies,
Oh.
I'm going to give this like a 3.5. But
Okay.
but in just like my normal movie scale of movies that I'm going to enjoy and watch again, it's maybe, and I'm really stretching it out here. I'd give it maybe a 2, but it's
Okay.
more like a 1.75.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So, but I'm gonna round up and go 2 stars.
Okay. All right.
So
I'll take
because
that.
there are some things in this movie that
I
were
knew
kinda
it wasn't going to
cool.
be your thing.
I didn't like the cheapness of it.
Yeah.
It felt like I was watching a cheap movie.
You always have that
and I
problem.
don't like cheap
Yeah,
movies.
I know you don't.
I did not like this chick character.
She
She
annoyed
was
me.
wasted. She just was annoying, useless. She was a MacGuffin character that they didn't need to throw in there.
Yeah, the ending really was
Yeah. I liked some of the cheap gore. I liked the little over the top. There was a lot of Caro syrup with red food
Oh,
coloring
yeah,
thrown
yeah.
around.
Dude, that one scene where
which is great.
they go
So-
into the freaking shed and he turns the lights on
Yeah.
and that thing is
and then
just
he's
like sitting
gnawing on
there.
that guy's head who's still alive.
Dude. Yeah.
It's
that,
like,
was
that was good.
badass.
That was good.
That was cool.
That was like, that's the 0.25 roundup that I gave to this thing. So, yeah, I mean, it has its moments, but it was not what I was expecting. I expected something a little different, a little better. But yeah, that's about all I got to say on it. So,
Okay. Jude?
I really wanted to like this
Yeah.
movie. I was very excited to watch it. And I don't mind a cheap movie. I enjoy cheap movies often. But this is not the movie I thought I was getting. I hated all of the soldiers. I hate it when you have to make a character dumb in order to like push the story forward. I didn't like the girl. When I got werewolves, when I got gore, when I got like murder and mayhem, I liked it. At no point did I love this movie or even feel like I was like into it or having a good time watching it. I hate a kill the dog movie, and I know that that's just a me thing, but I was asked my opinion, and that is my fucking opinion.
that's fair.
So for me, even in the world of indie werewolf movies, this is like a 1.5.
Wow.
I'll give it 2, but I'm going to call it a crap fest. It is a 2 werewolf crap fest.
I'm shocked.
And there's no titties.
I'm shocked too. I'm mad that I didn't like it. I really wanted to like it, and I know a lot of people love this movie, and that's fine for you.
In a cheap ass low budget movie,
There's no tits.
there's no titties.
In
There
a
should be-
werewolf movie with
there should-
99% men?
Yes, there was the one woman.
Tits
I
don't
wanted to
cost
see her
you
boobs.
anymore.
Yeah. She made a period joke. Why don't I see her tits?
That's right. That is right.
Yeah, you could have had the camper at the beginning show or two.
Yeah.
Oh, that would have been easy.
Yeah.
That would have been an easy one. Fair
I would have
enough.
been way more invested.
Or
Dude,
you
from
could
the
have had
get-go.
like a woman werewolf, and she has like all
Like
the-
werewolf tits?
I don't-
Oh,
I
what would
don't-
werewolf
You would
tits
have
get
loved
you?
that.
People don't understand how important
Jerkable tits are?
titties are
Because they had to be jerkable.
in movies.
Because you established that native titties don't count.
Yeah, they don't count.
Got to be jerkable.
I forgot about that. That's good.
So much funnier last week when we were all drunk.
Oh,
I know.
man. All right, Kadish, what's your ruling?
So I am a Neil Marshall fan. I tend to like his movies, even though like I don't find his movies all that good necessarily.
Mhm.
But can't argue with The Descent or Doomsday or any of his TV stuff because he worked on Game of Thrones, he worked on Black Sails, Westworld. Like he's kind of like almost HBO original series royalty. Like they bring him in to kind of like establish shows like right off the bat. So I tend to like his stuff. His early stuff is a little bit rough around the edges, but I can see like the talent there. Overall, though, like I didn't really care for this movie. It was just kind of like I found it very boring in most cases. Essentially, like once they get to the house, it's Night of the Living Dead
Mhm.
with werewolves and soldiers. So overall, like I just thought it was kind of like a predictable movie. Like Vader said, or Butters, sorry. I don't care about any of the characters. So like there's nothing that doesn't feel like there's anything at stake in this movie.
Right.
So, but overall, not a bad film. I'd give it solid 2 stars.
We're going to have so many people.
Yeah.
Give a
Everybody's
shit.
mad at us.
I know it. I know it's going to happen.
I got you guys. I got you. 4 stars.
Those guys don't know what they're talking about.
It's a fun one. It's good. And the werewolves look cool as shit.
I disagree.
They look better than most other werewolves do. The giant 7-foot tall. It's good. It's good. I will say they needed to.
Best werewolf is in Van Helsing.
Fair. I can't argue with that. God damn. That transformation and then versus Dracula.
What about the Underworld movies?
Oh, yeah. Those are good too.
It's
I
been
like
a while.
Those are I love the Underworld movies.
It's been a
Those
minute.
are a good example of like fun, campy movies.
Have we ever reviewed?
No, we never
No,
have.
we haven't. It's October. We're getting
Kadish
close to.
hates those movies.
Oh, I can't wait.
I don't hate those movies.
Kate Beckinsale.
Every time
Kate
I
Beckinsale is a
Yum.
vampire in
Yum.
all leather all
yeah.
the time,
jumping off buildings.
jumping off buildings and shooting shit. Yeah.
Superhero pose.
It was like right after The Matrix came out, so everybody was in nylon. Or not nylon. What's it?
Like,
Pleather.
Pleather. Yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody's in
I love
pleather.
those movies. They're so
I do
much
too.
fun.
I have a lot of fun with them.
It's
They're
like
good.
they're all wearing plastic.
Yes. Yeah.
They get worse and worse as they go.
Of course they
But
do.
man-
yeah, as a series should.
Yes.
It's inevitable.
Yeah.
Somehow, it's impossible to keep a franchise going and keep it good for that long.
I mean, have you ever seen Jaws 3? That's my favorite one.
All right, guys, that's it for Dog Soldiers. I guess the table was not as
This
fun.
review of Dog Soldiers was dog shit.
That was good. Yeah.
Comment what you think Dog Soldiers
That's-
should be rated as, and then go to criticalist.com, start an account, and rate a review so that you can counteract all these guys.
I can see
poo-pooing
Kadish's
it.
thumbnail now. Dog soldiers? Question mark.
Dog shit.
Dog shit.
A
The
million
stars.
views.
No one's even going to watch it. They're just going to immediately go to the comments and
Yeah,
be like, you guys are
immediately.
full of shit.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Thank you guys so much.
Sorry, I didn't like your favorite movie.
I heard you guys didn't like John Wick 4 either.
Yeah, that movie,
Yeah, the movie sucked.
We were right.
You know they're making a 5th one.
No.
He's gonna come back to life.
Well, that one should be good because like every other one is good.
Sure.
What's
Fair.
he going to fall down for 5 minutes for him in this movie?
I don't know, but they are bringing Keanu Reeves
escalator.
back.
What?
Yep.
He's dead.
Escalator?
An
Oh,
escalator.
yeah, he's just going to keep
He's gonna keep falling
in
because
the
it's
same
moving
place.
up as he's
He's
falling.
going to fall in the same
So
place
he just keeps falling
forever.
Be at least 3 hours of the movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I keep falling down in the same
And as
spot.
he's falling, he's gonna be shooting guys in the head.
Yeah.
And then a car comes up over the escalator and hits him. But
Yeah.
he stays.
I'm so
Yeah.
angry that stupid movie ruined Wick for me.
I saw a post on Twitter that had that scene in it where he's falling down those stairs, and the person who posted it said, I thought this was a parody, but apparently it's actually in the
I
movie.
saw that
in the
very
movie.
same thing.
I wanted us to do that as one of our skits, just like falling down, and getting back up, and then trying to.
We could go do a thing on an escalator where we just like keep walking in perpetuity. It's like I can't get to the top, but we're walking up and down.
We should find a place where we can have some fake gunplay on an escalator.
Yeah.
We just keep just running up the stairs and shooting, but we never actually get anywhere. It'd be hilarious.
We need to end this.
Okay. Well, all right, guys. See you next time.
Hope I give you the shits, you fucking wimp.